going to lose anyway.
Yes, I 100% agree.
It wasn't expected to be that abrupt.
It was, I mean, go all the way back to level 1. The lane swap, heavily in favor of Samsung White, put so much focus on Looper as well. And as soon as they started grouping up, had the wards pre-planned, had them set up, start picking off TSM. When you play Zed and you fall behind, you feel so useless because there's nothing you can ever do. If you ever jump in, they're all 5 just going to kill you, and you can't even start split pushing because they can just run in 5 people and kill the rest of your team like we just saw.
And what does Team Solo Mid do now? They're seeing different champions in the mid lane. They need to shut down, but the lane they're hoping can pick everything up for them.
So one thing I thought was going to be a big deal coming into this series was Dyrus's champion pool and potentially being able to pick Ryze. Maybe they can do that in game 2. The second thing is the complete lack of control of Dandy that they displayed there. Dandy, we all know, is the playmaker for them. They were not able to do any of their intended goals against Samsung White there.
And they have to be more aggressive in the way they play. When they have an advantage somewhere on the map, they have to use it. Don't play it safe. It doesn't matter. If you play it safe right here, you get to a point in the game where you will start making mistakes and they will punish you. You have to play aggressive early on when you have the advantage. The bottom lane could have been a big point for TSM where Wild Turtle was doing well. They didn't use it. In the end, Samsung White just punished them.
Play aggressive against Samsung White. I know it's easier said than done, but
we're sitting here talking, obviously. We're not even in the game.
Well, they got TSM on the back foot early. We'll see if it changes around for game 2. Right now, we're going to throw it over to the analyst desk for a breakdown of Samsung White's win.
Thank you very much, guys. We're just about to break down this game. And of course, I think a little bit as expected, Team Solo Mid coming away very poorly after that lane swap. I want to talk about some of the decisions that Samsung White had because their team composition seemed to work out. And Crepo and Monty, I mean, what was your thoughts on how TSM handled it and what Samsung White did right?
I think I like what Samsung White did initially. They wanted to lane swap away from TSM, and they combined that with a beautiful level 1 play. Teams in best of 5s tend to be very passive a lot of the times at the start. White just combined their lane swap with an invade, and they 3-buffed them, and then they went into lane swap, Anji.
I mean, it's just the lane swap is so strong when you have, when you're trying to avoid that Lulu harass on Ryze, and you're trying to just scale Twitch to where he gets Blade and he can roam around and create picks in the mid game. Like, they just got everything they wanted. And then TSM also kind of failed on the lane swap as well. And it was a train wreck.
Especially level 1, if you look at vision, you should always have vision of at least 2 buffs, whether it be your own 2 buffs or 2 of the enemy buffs, preferably 3 on opposite sides of the map, so you can roughly pinpoint where people are starting. TSM had vision on 1 buff, then realized they were in the process of getting 3 buffed and ran to the red buff, but by that time, Dandy was already done, and the jungle was compromised, and it went downhill from there.
Yeah, and to expand on that too, if we just talk about the lane swap itself, what happened was we had Imp pushing in on the 3rd wave, whereas Wild Turtle was reacting and then pressing in on the 4th wave of the game, and that created an opportunity because they didn't go for Dragon on the bottom side, that basically Looper got a wave and a half of experience that Dyrus didn't, and then from there, the Ryze is just going to win.
1 second quickly before we carry this on. Freak, hold your point. Let's pull up a graphic that we've got of the 2 team compositions and just talk a little bit more about these champions as well, because the lane swaps is definitely one of the big deciding factors. But how Samsung White played their comp with that Jace, with the Ryze, if we can pull that up onto your screens. Bjergsen playing his signature Zed, 2nd time this tournament, and it didn't work out for him. It really didn't. Freak.
So I want to first start by talking about the bans, because before picks, the bans actually happened. And what I liked was that Samsung White did it correctly in that they target banned. They banned champions that specific members of TSM were very good at, removed the Orianna away, the Lee Sin from Amazing, the Rumble away from Dyrus, whereas TSM banned the very standard things. Oh, the Zill and the Alex or the Maokai. Like, no one's surprised by this, which means there's nothing left up that's special for TSM. There's no high priority first round red side picks really left, and so they squandered that opportunity in the first place.
Yeah, what I just want to highlight is that Dyrus was forced into Lulu, a champion that has about like a 30% win rate in this prior to this game. 3 in 8 in total in the tournament, and he was basically forced to play that champion. And yeah, it didn't work out.
Let's talk a little bit about the team comps too, because it really makes it very clear. Yeah, it was relatively close in the early game, but being close in the early game is exactly what White wants with this team comp. They have 2 tier-dependent champions in Ryze and Jace. These are champions that want to scale till about 23 minutes when the Muramana, when the Seraph's Embrace come in, and that's when all hell breaks loose, and that's what we saw. And we look at TSM's comp. Very centered around attack damage, especially since we did see that Dyrus was shut down early, so he didn't have a lot of high damage items. Made it very easy for everybody to just buy a Chain Vest. Meanwhile, balance of damage, You had the AD on the AD carry on Twitch and Jace, and then you had Elise and Ryze rounding out the magic damage. Just, I think, a much better comp for...
We're running into the replay here. Double, if we haven't heard from you yet, let's pull the replay up onto your screen. Talk me through the replay as well as your thoughts on this particular matchup. You know, we did see First Blood going the way of TSM, but it didn't really work out their way.
Yeah, so right here, TSM's doing the right thing. They're actually doing a really great thing. They're looking for a pick with TP advantage. They see, okay, Looper doesn't have TP. We have TP top lane. Even though Darius is behind, you can play the replay right now. Danny actually face checks into this ward, and he's in a really bad spot. So TSM has the upper hand right here. The TP comes in, and then they're like, oh, wait, what are we doing? Ryze is coming. We have no idea where Ryze is. They should be pinging back. Like, somebody can show up right here at any moment, and it's Looper. And he's going to come in here, and he's just going to clean up. Lustboy has no chance of living this situation. He actually shouldn't have flashed. If he saved flash for the next fight, he might have actually lived. And then right here, Bjergsen should just know, the best case scenario here is trading 1-for-1. The worst case is he dies without even killing Pawn, which is exactly what happens. So somehow, just miraculously, Samsung White takes this situation that they have no control in and turned it into a 2-for-1.
Now, I do have to give some props to Mata. I don't think he missed a single hook win in the face of Team Solo Mid. We are running out of time. Freak, do you have any closing thoughts on the matchup? We haven't heard too much from your side.
I wanted to talk really briefly about what the comps were intending to do. TSM, I think, did a smart thing. They were very focused on Bjergsen winning the game. He's on split push Zed. The other 4 members are good at defending a turret. Janna, Lulu, Lucian, Kha'Zix, all these guys are wave clears, very smart. What I loved about the Samsung White comp, though, is they are so good at sieging, and they have 2 guys, at least with Thresh, who can pick people off defending. So a 5v4 with a bunch of long-range engage tool says you can defend turrets, but you can't defend yourselves, and everyone on TSM dies.
What I don't like about TSM's combo, though, if you go for the double support, if top laner support combo in Janna and Lulu, you need a hyper carry. You need something that scales better than Lucian, or you really need to bust up in that early game and win it hard. And
They did, yeah, I completely agree. Well, it's very obvious that we're all very excited at the desk, guys. There are still plenty more games to be played. When we return, it is Game 2 of Team Solo Mid versus Samsung White live from Busan. As we head to a break, the World Championship has given our audience an opportunity to become fans of players from every region. So who is your legend?
Not that one.
secon,
스피릿,
다대, 메테오스, 와이드 터틀,
붕,
톤,
와츠, 러블링, 산,
LPGGM, 고릴라,
루퍼,
고고잉, 아메이, 제파, 티키, 톤,
zero, 하이,
폴스.
amazing, 레몬 네이션,
콜라, 디옥스, 디옥스,
바이러스,
크로우, 마타, 쿨, 인섹트,
유,
유자,
클리어러,
클리어러,
댄디,
러스트 보이,
러스트 보이,
라스트 보이.